this, practically lapping the field. And it's Jeff Demps all the way, and James smashes the conference record. All good track meets must go outdoors in the spring, where the unexpected can happen. Shockingly, Demps left his game of the blocks in a preliminary heat. Very disappointing for the Florida Gators, and not the usual performance from the gridiron speedster. And an open door for the legendary Arkansas Razorbacks, led by Dorian Ulray. Are the Razorbacks up for the challenge? On the women's side, the reigning indoor championship LSU team, led by sprinter Kimberly Duncan and teammate hurdler Jasmine Stowers, are always ready at this level. And in the field, indoor pole vault champion Tina Sute is in a class of her own in collegiate competition. The SEC Outdoor Championships is next from Athens, Georgia. Welcome everyone to Athens, Georgia, the campus of the University of Georgia at the Forest Speck Towns track for the 2011 SEC Outdoor Track and Field Championships. I'm Dwight Stones along with Larry Rawson and Lewis Johnson here for 4 days of competition.
And Dwight, this is the 6th time Georgia has hosted this event. They renovated this beautiful facility at the end of the season in 2009. And more importantly, maybe the 30th anniversary of the first women's SEC championship.
And of course, this is a huge team competition, and points are awarded for 8 places, a premium on first and second, 10, 8, 6, and then 5 through 1, all 8 places scoring. And the team battle is what this is all about here at the SEC Championships. Many of these teams going on to contend for the national title. Time now for the seated section of the men's 4x100 meter relay. Collegiate best time by Texas A&M, and the SEC record held by LSU. And they have the best time in the conference this year, just a 10th off of that SEC record. But the story in this race is going to be at the anchor position for Florida, Jeff Demps, who had the unfortunate disqualification in the 100 meters, almost a certain 10 points for the Gators. And he gets a little redemption here in the 4x100 meter relay. But it was in a preliminary heat where only the winners automatically qualify that Demps did the unimaginable.
He clearly, Dwight, jumped the gun. And all of collegiate track and field, be it a dual meet or a conference or NCAA title, you cannot jump the gun or you're thrown out of the event. The only exceptions are the heptathlon and the decathlon.
And that was a big disappointment for the Gators. And after the incident, Lewis Johnson caught up with him.
Jeff, what happened on that false start?
I don't know. Just anticipated it.
Were you thrown off from the original false start of the actual gun? Did that throw your cadence off? What happened there? It's not like you.
It's straight.
Lane 6, a junior
It happens.
No. Tony Graham. Lane 7.
All right, obviously a very disappointed Jeff Demps, who, as you mentioned, is going to have to go talk to his coach, Mike Holloway. Huge turn of events here in terms of points. Disappointment for Florida.
So that is almost a certain 10 points that Florida has to manufacture somewhere else. And with LSU right on their heels, as well as Arkansas in the team title, that could be very, very difficult. Florida, the #2 team in the country.
And, you know, he was clearly the best based on time coming in here at Chief this spring. He was the fastest guy by far. NCAA outdoor champion last year, SEC indoor champion, NCAA indoor champion. He's the man.
And then there's the LSU team, also a very formidable foursome.
You know, 1 point there's Arkansas. Marek Nit from Estonia, and who's been running extremely well, is in the 200 meters and the 100 as well. Big day for him and for Arkansas. He will be anchoring for them.
He is the sprinting workhorse for the Razorbacks.
Just a sophomore.
And they're off cleanly. And there have been injuries throughout the meet that have affected the personnel here as they get ready for the very first exchange. Pretty even at this point.
Michael Granger, good lead off. His leg held up there for Mississippi.
LSU did not make the exchange, so it's Florida out in front. And there goes for Florida, Terrell Wilkes, who we will see in the 100 later. And he's going to hand off to Demps. And that is a clean exchange, so Florida will win the 4x100, followed by Arkansas in second for 8 points. 38-53. That is a new SEC record. So Florida takes down LSU's conference record. Arkansas gets the 8 points in second. And South Carolina is going to get third place points from the Section 1. And that's a big turnaround because LSU gets nothing because they did not finish the race.
Exactly right. And boy, those are the dramatic things that can happen. And here we are on a turn here, coming into the second turn. Good passing by Florida in the middle of the track in white.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Florida on the left. You can see there definitely taking off first. LSU in lane 5 completely out of the race. Did not make the first exchange.
Oh, just misses.
And it was all Florida when they handed it to Jeff Demps, who this is the only race he runs today, not in the 100-meter final due to that disqualification in the prelims for a false start. So he helps his Gators off to 10 points here, but they still have to manufacture some, but a big break for them with LSU getting 0 because they missed the very first exchange.
Demps takes off well. Notice the arm action. Here's what you do at the elite level. You turn, or as you're accepting the baton, you pump your arms, you take about 4 strides, and you snap your arm back to receive the baton. It helps you get up to full speed quickly. Don't reach back after your first step.
Florida wins it with an SEC record. Arkansas second, and we go downstairs to the third member of our team, Lewis Johnson.
All right, thanks a lot. Well, Jeff, you had 24 hours to think about the devastation of the false start yesterday. How did you get over that and come back with this great performance today?
We're going to see, my teammate had faith in me. As soon as I got back to the tent, they were there to pick me up. I just told them I'm going to come out and do it for them today.
And how about this performance by your teammates who've gone for their warm-up and to come out here and not only win it, but in a new SEC record?
Feels good, everything we worked for all year, it finally paid off, We came out and ran fast today.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Dwight?
All right. Well, early on, Georgia with an 18-point lead on the men's side, and then Arkansas back in third, but a lot of track meets still to go. Florida making a big, big move with that win.
The decathlon, the favorite and 2-time defending champion, Greyhorn from Florida, got off well. He was third in the long jump, and in the hurdles established a personal best of 14.25 seconds. His second day is usually his best, and it was the case here as he was in second place coming in to the last day. The pole vault, he cleared 15 feet, 9 inches to easily take that title of the 10 events in this competition. Kevin Lazis of Arkansas set a new American junior record in second.
And we move to the hammer, where it is a family affair in the Henning family. Brother Walter is a legend.
We went to the same high school, had the same coach going through the whole process of learning the hammer. It seemed fit for her to come down here, work with the coach that I'm working with. I did tell her that I didn't want her to come to LSU. I wanted her to, forge her own path, but she's just all set on LSU, and that's where the Hennings are supposed to be.
We really don't think of it as following in his footsteps because, he's the only older brother I'm ever going to have, and he started it first, so it's kind of his thing first, but being a little kid, I just wanted to be just like my brother, and I guess I kind of did follow in his footsteps eventually.
But Big Brother had his hands full. 6th and final throw for the 2-time titleist and defending NCAA champion. He gets it out to 225 feet 4 inches, outdistancing second place by only 14 inches. Justin Welch of host Georgia is only a freshman.
Brian Moore, the junior javelin thrower, gave the locals something to cheer about. Georgia in the early going having a very good SEC meet. And he fires that javelin out 248 feet, 2 inches on his third throw to take the lead and give Georgia 10 big points in the men's javelin.
In the long jump, 2 of the best in the business, both from Florida. Christian Taylor on the left, Will Clay on the right. And in the third jump of the competition with gusting winds, Will Clay does something special. The wind is legal, second best jump in the world this year, 27, 2.5 and into the lead. Sixth and final jump. Arkansas junior Tarek Batchelor trying to get something on the board for the Razorbacks. And he moves up to 26, 10.5. Wind aided. It's not enough for the win, but good enough for second. But Clay gets 10 for Florida. Christian Taylor another 5, 15 for the Gators. Still to come, lots of SEC championships, including the men's and women's 1,500 meters and sprints and hurdles. It's all ahead as we continue here in Athens, Georgia. But up next, it's the women's 4x100 meter relay. Speed to burn.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out.
Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
If you go out of your way to fly with an airline, does that airline go out of its way to reward you? It should, because loyalty is a two-way street. And when one side gives, the other has to give back. Dedicated Redcoat customer service, more first-class upgrades, miles that don't expire. This isn't benevolence. This is our business. And the next time an airline asks for yours, ask them first what they've done to deserve it.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Action, excitement, competition. Score.com is a style of auction where you pay a small fee for each bid. When the bidding stops, the item sells, even if the price is a penny. Winners can save up to 99% off retail price. After you sign up, enter ESPN and you'll receive $10 in free bids. Score It features gift cards, gold bars, sports collectibles, and consumer electronics. And Score It is an accredited member of the Better Business Bureau. Go to Score It now and get $10 in free bids. Scoreit.com. You bid, you score.
Welcome to the NCAA Women's College World Series.
That was the perfect day.
Swings in, good ball. Swings in the bottom of the eighth.
Lost in this moment now.
Championship 11 for UCLA.
Living in a
The road to the Women's College World Series, presented by Capital One. Super Regionals, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on ESPNU.
Back on the campus of the University of Georgia for more 2011 SEC Outdoor Track and Field Championships action. In the women's heptathlon, it was the sophomore from Arkansas and St. Lucia, Makiba Alcide, winning. That is a national record for her. And as part of that competition, she also cleared a personal best 5:10.5 in the high jump.
In the women's hammer throw, Nikola Lomnitska from Georgia, the defending champion in the women's hammer, has been suffering through a knee injury this outdoor season. Nonetheless, she holds herself together well enough, considered by her coaches a great technician, to win at 208 feet 4 inches. Karen Henning was 5th. The star of the women's pole vault all season long indoors was Tina Sute of Arkansas. And she talked to us about the outdoor season after college holds for her.
Right now, of course, I'm going to focus on SECs and nationals, but like this summer, I have World Championships in South Korea, and I guess my goal for that is just going to be try to keep vaulting good this whole summer and maybe get into the finals over there, but then obviously next year, Olympics.
Sute had an outstanding pole vault competition here. The rest of the field went out by the time the bar had risen to 13 feet 9 3/4 inches. Here she is at 15 feet 1.5 inches and gets a new NCAA outdoor record. She asked that the bar be raised then to 15 feet 4 1/4 inches. 3 misses followed, but nonetheless, the new NCAA outdoor record holder from Arkansas, just a junior, Tina Sute from Slovenia. This jump by Sute, 15 feet 1.5 inches, is the highest women's pole vault in the world this year.
So standings early on, Florida leading by 6 over Georgia, and then LSU 9 back. Hello everyone, Dwight Stones as always with Larry Rawson. The SEC is arguably the best track and field conference in the country. Deference, of course, in any given year to the Pac-10 or the Big 12. But on the men's side, the Florida Gators are number 2 ranked in the country, the LSU Tigers number 3. On the women's side, LSU is ranked number 1, and they are always in the hunt for the NCAA title on both sides. But as great as this conference is and as important as the team battle is, there's also some great individuals, starting with Alabama's incredible 400-meter runner, Karani James.
I think that's a great word for him, Dwight. I really do. He's just 18 years of age. He's a sophomore at Alabama. And if you're a casual track fan and you want to learn more about great running, he is, I think, one of the world's greatest young athletes you'll be hearing about. He is just, as I say, 18. He has the world's fastest time ever run for 14 years of age, 15 and 16 at 400 meters, and he'll be on display today. I think you should also keep an eye on a young lady who's just a sophomore at LSU who was not recruited by anybody else except Coach Dennis Shaver, and in 2 years he brought her Kimberlyn Duncan along to win the NCAA indoor 200 meters, and I think they expect big points from her. On the Arkansas side in distance running, you have to keep an eye on Dorian Ulray. He'll be a finalist at 15 and 800 meters. Big points are expected by Arkansas in those 2 events.
And, of course, we've documented what happened with Jeff Demps on the 100 meters, but it's still a team competition, and he's part of that team. For more on that Florida story, let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
Well, Dwight, I'm back here in the athlete warm-up area with head coach for Florida, Mike Holloway. And, Mike, we were all shocked to see Demps' false start yesterday. What was your reaction?
Pretty much the same. Shocked. I think the word, I was just like, wow. He never does that. I was really surprised. But, you know, at the end of the day, he's a human. He made a mistake. It's all part of athletics, and, you move forward.
All right, you've had the evening to crunch the numbers. And what events specifically will you be watching today to try and get those points back and retain your SEC Outdoor Championship title?
I'm not sure that you really get those points back anywhere, but what I just challenge my team to do is come out here and just be who we are. There's some other good programs out here, but I can't worry about them. I got to take care of the Gators, and I've just challenged. We got some great events, the triple jump, the high hurdles. I mean, on the men's side, we're in every event today, I think, on the track except for the 400 hurdles, So we're going to concentrate on each event we're in and just go for it, compete hard like we always do. And there's a computer that'll keep the score for us, and let us know what it is at the end of the day.
All right, Mike, we'll see you at the end of the meet. Good luck.
No problem.
All right, Dwight, he's got a lot to think about here.
Next on the track, the seeded final of the women's 4x100 meter relay. Texas A&M has the best time in the country this year, just off the SEC record held by LSU from 3 seasons ago. And the teams in this section from the inside out: Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, Auburn, the 2-time defending champion, Arkansas, and Mississippi. And LSU, Kimberlyn Duncan, who is going to have a very busy day, is the anchor for this outstanding LSU Lady Tiger team.
Now what you're seeing there do right there, other athletes do too. They make a mark on the track with tape as to when they should take off when they're receiving the baton from the incoming runner. They've got this all worked out in practice. They pace it off, a little bit of math training here, and they all know what to expect. And this young lady is about 5 feet 9 inches tall, a lot of legs, and she can fly.
Just outside of LSU in lane 6, 2-time defending Auburn Tigers. They'll be started off by Villani Robinson.
And Dwight, she will pass off to Joanna Adkins, who is the Auburn lady who 2 years ago won the NCAA 400-meter title, and that's her specialty. When they're fast enough to run the 4x1, the coaches often put them on a straightaway and not a turn.
And then Arkansas out in lane 7. Shalise Williams will run the 200 and the 400 as well. She will anchor this 4x1 relay. So team implications here, always good to get things going. That's Lakia Brookins of South Carolina, who will be out in lane 4. She is going to lead off for South Carolina. We will also see her in the 100 meters.
Watch and see if the tiny countenance of Lakia Brookins gets the lead for South Carolina in the first lap. She gets out well. She's very quick, and she's probably the fastest sprinter easily here. So she should hand off first, given a good handoff by the South Carolina ladies. Should be handing to Vashti Bandy, who's a freshman. Arkansas in lane 7. In 5 is LSU. Let's see what happens to those teams. Arkansas wearing their red uniforms. The ladies are in lane 7.
And If Arkansas has any designs on winning the team title here at the SEC, which is a big stretch, they have to score some big points here and hope that LSU falters a little bit, as the men did. Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, Auburn, Arkansas, Mississippi. Coming up to the first exchange, and so far it looks like LSU in the lead.
South Carolina passes off well as well, but you're right, Arkansas is out well. Look at South Carolina at the moment go.
But LSU right now handing off first, and that is Samoya Hackett to Rebecca Alexander, and the Lady Tigers leading through the turn. Arkansas still hanging on to second. South Carolina making a move. LSU passes cleanly. Kimberly Duncan on the anchor with plenty of room. Now the battle is for second between South Carolina and Arkansas. And here comes Auburn. Can Arkansas hang on? Yes, they do. 8 points for Arkansas, but LSU wins easily, 43.47. Not quite as fast as LSU has run this year, but a solid performance from front to back. And the Lady Tigers start out with 10 big points in the very first event on this final day.
And this is coming up to turn 2 as the handoff was occurred. They're running down the backstretch right now. Lakia Brookins gets South Carolina out well, but LSU with Samoy Hackett running extraordinarily well right in the middle of the track in lane 5, and she hands off to Rebecca Anderson, the junior. They get the stick basically first, and they are off and running and keep building through the turn right up to the anchor leg. The handoff here to Kimberlyn Duncan, and an excellent turn run by Rebecca Alexander here to give really several steps lead for Kimberlyn Duncan, who floats away with those long strides. Look at the margin of victory. It's almost 1 full second that LSU dominates this race. Excellent performance by LSU, and Arkansas does get up for second.
And the winners are downstairs with Lewis.
All right, thanks very much. Well, Kimberlyn has a smile on her face, even though she has a busy day. Talk about that in a second. But how about the sticks that you guys had today? They look pretty sharp as you guys won by a big margin.
I think we all had good handoffs today. We actually didn't get into practice, but I think we had good handoffs, especially with us not having practice.
All right, so this is the first of 3 events today. You still have the 100 and the 200. How do you piecemeal your energy out throughout the day to make sure that you can give your team what they need?
I give each event my all, and just I know I have to go out there and do what I have to do, so I'm just going to be ready to go.
Sounds like 3 times your all, huh? All right, good luck today.
Thank you.
Okay. Back to you guys.
All right, Lewis. Well, that was LSU's race to lose, which they did not do, but Shalise Williams on Arkansas's anchor. That is the story of this race, bringing her Lady Razorbacks to second place and 8 points. But it was all LSU, but almost a full second. Auburn, the 2-time defending champion, settles for third. So Florida picks up 4 points in that race. Still a 9-point advantage over Georgia, but LSU has moved up into a tie for second. In the women's discus, a little bit of a scare for Tennessee junior Annie Alexander, also from Trinidad and Tobago. Having trouble figuring out the wins here at the University of Georgia track. 6th and final throw, a huge favorite coming into these championships. And a favorable win in the women's disc, and she finally gets it out where it belongs. This is the front end of a double that Annie Alexander is trying to manage here at the championships, and she gets it together, a big 184.5 in the final frame to win easily by almost 7 feet, but struggling up to that point. That is a great competitive effort. Well, still to come, it's the barrier battles for men and women. But up next, senior Dorian Olray of Arkansas. He's back, fighting back from injury. Can he do it for the Razorbacks?
No pie today, Ted?
No, I just paid my car insurance bill. Ouch.
Sounds like somebody paid too much.
Excuse me?
I used Progressive's Name Your Price tool. They showed me a range of coverages, and I picked the one that worked for me. I saved hundreds when switching.
Hundreds?
Who are you?
Just a man that loves savings. And pie.
Out there with a better way. Now that's Progressive.
It's time to take matters into your own hands. AutoZone's got the advice and expertise you need to take on any job, because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Remember, travel's not about where you stay while you're away. It's about what you bring home with you. Oh yeah, come to Papa. Save more for what you travel for at Motel 6. I'm Tom Bodette, and we'll leave the light on for you.
History.
The Cardinals are your Big East Tournament champions.
Opportunity.
St. John's will represent the Big East in the NCAA tournament.
With an automatic bid to the regionals at stake, it's time for the best to rise to the occasion.
A huge two-run double. Wow. A swing and a miss. Down he goes.
The Big East Championship game, Sunday at noon on ESPNU.
Family, I've got a little surprise. We are going on a little trip.
Where are we going? Paris?
To the beach?
Nope. Even better. We're going to Big O Tires.
Big O Tires? You had no idea!
Okay, nobody gets that excited about tires. Unless it's time for Big O Tires Ready to Road Trip Special. We'll get your car ready to hit the road for just $29.99. Plus, get up to $100 trade-in on your old tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Our fastest internet. Our fastest internet.
Imagine what you could do with speeds up to 60 megs. Let it all in with Charter Internet Ultra 60.
Next event on the track is the men's 1,500-meter final. There's the collegiate best this year and the SEC record. And this race features senior Dorian Ulray of Arkansas.
This is his last season. This outdoor season will be of accomplishment for him. He's been a terrific leader for Coach Chris Bucknam, and he spoke to us about what it has meant to him to be an Arkansas Razorback.
2 years ago, I won the 1,500, and 2 indoor seasons ago, I anchored the distance medley to a win, won the mile, and won the 3K. How do you move on from that? I found the answer in my time off, and I'm rested and I'm ready to run. It's truly a great experience to be able to come in here and know that your team has a great shot at taking down the #1 team in the country. The 1,500 is what encourages me to pour my heart out on the track in the afternoon. And so I look forward to it. It's my event, and it's so great to have 3 other teammates who will be running it with me. That makes it a special way to end senior year and the last time that I'll be able to wear the Arkansas.
Well, Dorian Ulray really embodies what it's like to run collegiate track for a contending team, and he and his teammates have a big, big job here in this race. Men's 1,500 meters is underway. A pivotal event for Arkansas.
What's interesting to me, they took off in the first 60 meters pretty quickly. Let's see if it settles down. These races have a tendency to be tactical, Dwight, because many of these athletes are doubling, but they went out very quickly. I was surprised. Now, you know, and they went out into the teeth of that wind in the first 100 meters. Let's see if they settle down. It has settled down to some extent right now into a rhythmic first 400 meters, so it won't be excessively fast.
Arkansas with no less than 4 athletes in this final. Prominent among them, Dorian Ulray, the Arkansas senior who had to take last year's outdoor season off due to some knee problems, and his teammate, junior Duncan Phillips. They will be doubling back in the 800 and may do duty in the 5,000 meters as well, depending on what the point situation is for the Razorbacks.
They're right up there in second and third place are the Arkansas athletes.
60 seconds flat for that first 400 meters, very on his pace, especially considering the amount of wind that is on that backstretch.
Emmanuel Bohr doing the working chores, breaking the wind. If you want to tuck in behind him, it saves you a few tenths of a second probably. You burn energy here trying to fight that wind.
Duncan Phillips on Boer's shoulder, so he's also taking some wind as well. Julius Boer, Manuel's brother, also running here for Alabama.
Florida hoping that the Boers go 1-2. Arkansas hoping they go 1-2 for additional points to try and stay close to the University of Florida.
Florida with no finalists in this 12-person field. And a very key event for Arkansas.
Thomas Caton Masson in this race for Arkansas has run 3 minutes 45 seconds. It's equivalent of about a 4:03 mile. So he could do some damage up here as far as garnering points.
That second lap went out in 64, so slowed down substantially. So it's still Emmanuel Boer with Duncan Phillips on his shoulder. Dorian Olray is tucked back in there against the rail, really drafting off of Boer.
Dwight, the pace is slowed down. It's just comfortable right now for these guys. They're I think gathering here for coming up with 1 to go when they finish this straightaway of this 1,500 meters.
Well, this last 600 meters or so has allowed them to all gather together for what kick they need to have. And of course, Olray and Phillips will want to try and save as much energy as they can. At the bell, it is Dorian Olray sort of moving into the lead, but not really. Now he finally takes the lead in earnest. Boer giving him a little bit of a nudge.
That last lap before the finish line here was 64 seconds plus. So Olray taking the brunt of the wind, which right now it looks to be a crosswind off his right shoulder.
So it's Olray, Boer, then Matt Hillenbrand of Kentucky there in third.
Here comes Phillips.
Phillips has got to get back up there. He took a lot of wind for the first half of the race. Now he's back into third, but Olray now making the break for it. A big gap between he and his own teammate. Arkansas looking to go 1-2 here. Olray just wants to make certain that no one can catch him. Lifting into the final straight, 100 meters to go. It is Olray. Then it is Phillips. And are they going to go 1-2? It certainly is looking like it. Thomas Caton Masson of Arkansas. This is looking like a sweep. A 1-2-3 sweep for Arkansas. That is 24 points for the Razorbacks in this 1,500 meters. The Boer brothers unable to do anything to stop it. And Florida in a deeper hole now. They had no finalist here, and this is probably the worst case scenario for the Gators to see Arkansas sweep this men's 1,500 meters.
They're posing for pictures quickly, and they know what's gone on here. There's probably 6 to 8 points here that was picked up in this race that was not expected by the experts coming into it, as far as how many points Arkansas would gather and what they could try and gain on. They're considered on paper to still be behind Florida, but this was a big, big race. Now we're coming up into the backstretch here, and Phillips at this point is a good 5 or 6 steps behind. And he made up ground with coming up to the 200-meter mark. Still not in the picture. But at this point, you began to see Dorian Olray. And I might add something I did talk about in our heats yesterday. Olray has done more stamina background, long mileage for a period of like 5 months than he ever had before. He said before the Penn Relays, our Arkansas distance team had done only 1 speed work at that point on the track. He said, we're much sharper now. We're ready to fly. And boy, they showed it here. 1, 2, 3. Caton Masson runs to the potential that he showed at the Mount Sac Relays when he ran 3:45, 3:39 in the past for Phillips. So congratulations to Arkansas.
And the trio is downstairs with Lewis.
1, 2, 3. Yes, they are. So Dorian, with 3:50 to go, you began to take off. You decided to bite the wind. Tell me your thought process there.
We work out in Fayetteville. It's windy all the time. It doesn't bother us anymore. I was aware that everybody was kind of in the race, and our plan was to stretch it out so it didn't come down to a 100-meter sprint.
Duncan, take us inside the race, and how aware were you of all the other players as it relates to team points against you guys in Florida?
I was aware mainly like on the backside. I would look up at the leaderboard and be like, all right, we're still in a good spot. And then when Dorian went around, it kind of got a little box, but on the backstretch I was able to get out, and Thomas came around, finished with the hands up in the air, like we knew we had it.
Thomas, what was that moment like for you?
What was what?
What was that moment like for you to come across the line like that?
I mean, no, we talked about it like just before the race today. We didn't talk about doing 1, 2, 3 before. But yeah, I
I don't know, like Dorian took it. Duncan and I, we were a little bit on the back with 400 to go, and so I pushed a little bit Duncan on the back. We started moving up. I just followed him, and we passed all the back in the back stretch.
Very good.
And like with 100 to go, he looked at me.
I think they'll talk about this all night, Dwight. What do you think? Great job, guys.
Thank you. All right, Lewis. Well, the times are inconsequential. It's the 1-2-3 sweep. 24 points for Arkansas, and that vaults them all the way up into second place, just 1 point behind Georgia.
One of the featured events of this SEC Championships, everybody's watching the men's triple jump with two of the very best Americans on the line for Florida. Christian Taylor up. He, at the moment, on his third jump, powers himself out to a legal jump of 56 feet, 3 1/4 inches to take the lead. Remember, if you're a baseball fan, to get an idea of what these guys can do in 3 steps, the pitcher's mound distance to the plate, 60 feet, 6 inches, and these guys cover almost all that distance in 3 steps. Willie Clay, taking on his teammate, not only equals what was done by Taylor, but Willie Clay gets out on a wind-assisted jump to 56 feet, 6 3/4 inch. These are the two best triple jumpers right now in America. They go 1-2. Omar Craddock, who got 3rd indoors, had been injured this year, did not make the final for Florida.
Still to come, what the SEC is known for, speed. The men's and women's dashes still to come. But up next, it's the women's 1,500 meters and Florida's fabulous freshman, Corey McGee.
Welcome to the NCAA Women's College World Series.
That was a perfect day.
Swings in. Good ball. Swings in the bottom of the 8th.
Lost in this moment now.
Championship 11 for UCLA.
The road to the Women's College World Series, presented by Capital One. Super Regionals, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on ESPNU.
Got it. Don't be the last to know. Get it faster with 4G. It's the network of possibilities. AT&T.
Action, excitement, competition. Score.com is a style of auction where you pay a small fee for each bid. When the bidding stops, the item sells, even if the price is a penny. Winners can save up to 99% off retail price. After you sign up, enter ESPN and you'll receive $10 in free bids. Score It features gift cards, gold bars, sports collectibles, and consumer electronics. And Score It is an accredited member of the Better Business Bureau. Go to Score It now and get $10 in free bids. ScoreIt.com. You bid, you score.
Welcome back to more of our coverage of the SEC Championships. The next event on the track, the women's 1,500 meters. The sophomore from Oregon, Jordan Hassay, had the best time in the country. Tiffany McWilliams with the SEC record. But this race really features freshman Corey McGee of Florida, Larry.
And you know, she started running with her dad, Dwight, in the 7th grade. By the 9th grade, as a freshman in high school, she ran 4 minutes, 48 seconds for the mile, easily the fastest time by a freshman in the country that year.
I think that mostly going from high school to college was a difficult transition, but it was also something that I've been looking forward to for the last few years. I never really looked at the team aspect of track until I got to college, but it's definitely exciting to be a part of that. You know, throughout high school, I always thought about my dad, hoping for me to do better, so now to have a team back there supporting me helps me run a little better, I think. 1,500 is what I step out on the line really with all my focus on. So it's the race that I definitely prefer, but I always just want to go out there and do whatever I can to win. So however I have to race the race to do that is what I'll have to do.
Well, Larry, when you consider the resurging middle distance events for the women for the U.S., she plays right into it.
She does, and she's had a very fine freshman year as well, Dwight.
Women's 1,500 meters next up. It's non-stop action here at the SEC Championships. 12 athletes, including 5 from Arkansas. More than 40% of this field is Arkansas Lady Razorbacks, and this is an important race for them as it was for the men at the 1,500 meters. But Corey McGee, the fabulous freshman from Florida, she is the one to beat. Looked very easy in her qualifying heat, but it's all going to be about how this pace goes out and who is willing to take the brunt of the wind. The ladies are definitely going out a lot slower from a standpoint of turnover than the men did.
You know, the irony, if you look at the flag on the backstretch where they just started from, is limp at the moment. It goes anywhere from limp to out straight. Very gusty winds here the last couple of days. And this is turning into a cakewalk here. No one wants the lead. Again, we've mentioned this. Conference titles where you're doubling and sometimes tripling. The athletes, you know, don't want to try and set personal best. It's all about winning for the team, and it becomes very strategic. So hence the slow early pace. And the last 2 laps should be quick. We're coming up to the 400 meters, and it is going to be SLOW.
And there's sort of 3 leaders, one in each lane. It's Brittany Sheffy of Tennessee, who ran wire-to-wire in her prelim. Then Corey McGee, the freshman from Florida. Callie McCumber of Kentucky. And nobody really wants the lead in earnest. And frankly, they're all taking a brunt of the wind. They're 4 across in the first 2 lanes along the backstretch. So really, it's the second group of people behind them is taking advantage of the drafting possibilities.
78.1 seconds is a wow for these ladies. They're so much more talented and fast. If they kept this pace up, these ladies can go perhaps 30 seconds faster. If this had been an all-out type of race, 8 seconds per lap slow for them. And leading the race is the entire pack. All together. This looks like the start of a cross-country race here in the first maybe 800 meters of the race.
Well, LSU is the favorite on the women's side for the team title. #1 team in the country, has no finalists here. Arkansas has 5 finalists. It's really going to be about how many the Razorbacks can place in that top 8 and score.
And the previous race, Dwight, a little bit of inspiration for these ladies. They got to be psyched at how well the men did. And this pace may play into the fact of some of these ladies' kickers. Coming into the competition, 3 women stood out, having run 4:16, 4:17, 4:17. Among them, Kristen Gillespie from Arkansas with a 4:17, Corey McGee with the best time. But after that, there were 5 women really bunched together. 2 minutes, 33 seconds for the first 800 meters. Pace has picked up a little.
So it continues to be Callie McCumber of Kentucky sort of sharing the lead with Brittany Sheffy in the orange of Tennessee. And Corey McGee, the freshman, and believe me, she has a ton of experience, even though she's just a freshman. She's right in there as well from Florida, but they will start to get serious here as they're coming up with just a lap to go at the end of this straightaway. This pack's starting to stretch out a little bit. You can see the pace picking up markedly. Corey McGee a little bit boxed at the moment, but still plenty of running left to do. 1 lap to go. And Sheffy and McCumber are not letting Corey McGee through. She's trying to push her way through and is successful in doing so. It is now, and there's the spill that I was expecting when you see that type of jostling. That's an Arkansas runner that went down. Here comes Corey McGee with 300 meters to go. She takes the lead in earnest. Brittany Sheffy is now in second pursuing. Callie McCumber now being gapped by about 5 meters. So the race is between McGee, the freshman from Florida, and Sheffy, the Tennessee junior. And Sheffy is giving no quarter. Now it's McGee having to take the win. As Sheffy starts to move up on her shoulder, this is going to be a sensational final straightaway. McGee, the freshman, on the inside. Sheffy, the junior, on the outside. Florida needing as many points as they can as Sheffy now picks up and passes McGee. Sheffy with a good head of steam will not be headed. There's going to be Brittany Sheffy of Tennessee winning this women's 1500. The freshman from Florida, Corey McGee, will finish second. And Paige Johnston of Arkansas gets third. That's 6 for the Razorbacks. And I'm only seeing maybe 1 more score for Arkansas out of the 5 entries they had. We'll see what the final results yield, but I'm thinking that it's very possible that Arkansas only got about 4 or 5 points out of that race. It was Kristen Gillespie of Arkansas that fell with about 350 meters remaining. At that point, it's impossible to react. Well, the running was just getting going in earnest, and of course, at that point, you cannot recover, Larry.
When you're in a championship race like this, it's slow usually in the very beginning, creating a very fast last lap. That's what happens here. 350 meters to go. The top Arkansas woman tries to go way out in lane 2 to get around everybody, carnage occurs, but getting out of that pack and out of the mess, McGee and Sheffy.
Here's the pass. Sheffy ran a very smart last 200 meters.
She did. She tucked in. She let everybody else kind of buffet the wind out there, as did McGee. But, you know, oftentimes these races come down to who's the best sprinter. The time coming in, the best time that McGee had, 4 minutes, 16.39 one-hundredths of a second. Sheffy's best this year was just under 4:20. And so, you know, you would give the favorite role here to McGee, but it wasn't to be today off a slow pace. It was Sheffy that really showed the way brilliantly for J.J. Clark's.
So the Tennessee junior runs a smart race and wins it over the less experienced Corey McGee, but she's got a great future ahead of her. So Arkansas and LSU, 18 points behind the surging Florida. Up next, men's and women's hurdles.
Find what you need in that overstuffed, outdated wallet? Stop damaging your credit cards or using money clips that aren't secure, and get rid of those bulky old wallets that barely even fit. Now there's Aluma Wallet, the lightweight aluminum wallet that's indestructible. You'll be amazed at how much it holds. Credit cards, debit cards, club cards, cash, and more. The easy touch latch allows for quick access, and its accordion design makes getting your cards out easy.
It holds everything I need and then some. It holds pictures and credit cards and my driver's license. It's great.
Aluma Wallet is the perfect wallet for men and for women, and its compact size fits into any pocket or purse.
It's one touch. It pops open, and there before you are all your credit cards, your driver's license, your cash.
It's so practical. It keeps all my cards organized. Everything is very easy to get to.
The aluminum alloy case protects against spills, drops. Even a heavy truck is no match for Aluma Wallet.
This is so durable. And you know, suppose it got wet. It's not a problem. If you get a leather wallet wet, it's a big problem.
Best of all, it protects your card's magnetic strips from damage and keeps cards with RFID chips safe by blocking their signals from scanners, protecting you from identity theft.
I never knew how easy it was for someone to scan my credit cards when they were in my pocket. Aluma Wallet protects me.
Other metal wallets sell for as much as $59.95 each. Call or go online and get your Aluma Wallet for just $10.99. Order now and find out about free shipping. As part of the special offer, we'll double the value. Just pay separate processing. Whether it's from water damage, contents getting crushed, or RFID scanners, protect all your wallet's contents with Aluma Wallet. You get 2 silver Aluma wallets for only $10.99. Aluma Wallet's also available in black, blue, and red. And remember, order now and find out about free shipping.
Call 1-800-601-1479, but call now. We're giving away a bonus Aluma Wallet with all of today's orders. Call 1-800-601-1479 and find out about free shipping. 1-800-601-1479. Call now.
And we're back at the Spec Towns track on the campus of the University of Georgia for more of our coverage of the SEC Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Dwight Stones, along with Larry Rawson and Lewis Johnson, bringing you the action on a near-perfect day for track and field. Next event on the track, the men's 110-meter hurdles. There's the collegiate best and the SEC record. 4 Florida Gators in this men's 110-meter hurdle final, including the first 3 lanes. And this is Florida's fabulous freshman hurdler Eddie Lovett, won the conference indoor title as an 18-year-old freshman.
And he was ranked #1 in high school back in 2010, was Lovett.
And right next to him in lane 4, the defending champion, the junior from LSU, Barrett Nugent, and he had a tough go in the preliminaries. One of the most impressive performances I've seen from the standpoint of strength and hurdling. He is 3rd from the right on your screen. He's behind here, he starts to press, he's hitting every single hurdle, and now watch this stumble. He stumbles hard and recovers, and not only does he recovers to win the heat.
Look at him, he rides the hurdles, his high thigh and his left leg does it, but he stumbles by about the 5th hurdle, 5th to 6th, right in here. Watch this. Just buckles completely and winds up winning the race.
And then right next to him on his outside, Keith Hayes of Kentucky, the junior, 7th at the NCAA Indoor Championships, but has certainly the talent to be right in there with Nugent and Lovett. You got to think that if Nugent can just run a decent, clean, almost clean set of hurdles, it's his to lose.
Nugent has the fastest collegiate time under all conditions, wind assisted this year, 13:19, so it won't count officially, but he was runner-up last year at the NCAA championships. He's used to this type of competition and pressure.
ranked number 7 in the country in an event where the U.S. is incredibly deep. It's Lovett in 3, Nugent in 4, Hayes in 5.
Set.
And Lovett out well. Lovett very, very quick out of the blocks. It is Eddie Lovett in lane 3. Nugent trying to now to charge, and then Keith Hayes is right there as well. It is now, here comes Nugent. Nugent comes from nowhere back, and there's more hurdles down on the track that are still standing, very much the same as the prelims. And Barrett Nugent just comes back from the dead. Eddie Lovett got out to a great start, and then Keith Hayes was making a move in the middle of the track, but the experience and the patience of Nugent wins him another SEC title.
You might show this race again as a clinic on heart, but you won't show it on technique. Watch him, he gets out. He's really third here at the very least, and he's still trailing here. Stumbles right there, hits another hurdle. He's riding the hurdles. They don't slow him down a lot, but he's out of sync. He's not in perfect symmetry here with the hurdles in between, and the lead is all Lovett at this point. Watch him make up. He makes up. He reaches. He just gathers himself and outleans everybody at the tape. That's really pretty amazing. 13.63 seconds to win, just over the allowable limit, 2.1 meters per second. And Eddie Lovett actually stumbled a little bit there. Boy, they chopped a lot of wood in that race. This is Keith Hayes. Hayes is stumbling too. Look at, boy, these guys really had a lot of trouble here in the heats and with this. Just hammering these hurdles.
Well, hardly a training film for hurdling there, but Barrett Nugent helps the LSU Tigers. But Florida starting to pull away with a 14-point bulge over Georgia. Our next event, the women's 100-meter hurdles. Nia Ali of USC, that's the USC on the West Coast, with the best time in the country this year. Kim Carson of LSU has the SEC record, 12:72. And it is LSU's Tania Jones in lane 2, the senior, second at the 2011 SEC Indoor Championships.
She's got a season's best white of 13.20 seconds coming in, one of the co-favorites.
Carrie Beckles, I should say, it's next to her, but Brittany Heider won her heat yesterday, the junior from Arkansas. They're counting on points from her in this race.
She ran 13.33 and winning her heat and beating Jones yesterday in the heat.
Kiera Beckles of South Carolina and Barbados had the fastest qualifying time, albeit slightly wind-aided. She was the 2010 U.S. Junior College champion. And on the other side of these four, the freshman from LSU, Jasmine Stowers. Stowers and Tania Jones went 1-2 indoors at the SEC meet.
On your mark.
This is the race where we expect to see LSU start to make a move with regard to the team points with 2 finalists, but Arkansas can also make a dent. They have 3 finalists in these hurdles. Jones in 2, Stowers in 5.
It's 13 meters to the first hurdle, and then in between each hurdle is 8.5 meters, and the run-in is 10.5 meters to the finish.
Jones was 3rd in 2009, 2nd last year.
Set.
Away clean in lane 4. That is Carrie Beckles. And now here comes Stowers. Stowers making a move in the middle of the race. It's lane 5. That is Jasmine Stowers. She's going to run away with this. Beckles is going to be 2nd and Jones 3rd. So 16 points for LSU. 12:88, and the win is legal. So a big victory, a very clear victory for Jasmine Stowers. The freshman wins it and gives her team 10 points and then 6 more for 3rd out of Tania Jones.
As you said, Dwight, that was a legal win. Very fine race, good competition, and she rose to the challenge, did Stowers, as she did indoors. 12.88 seconds, excellent form, very quick over the hurdle, gets her lead laid down quickly. That is the fastest collegiate time in the country by 1/100th of a second. Freshman Jasmine Stowers has made a great transition from high school track and field to being a top runner nationally and certainly at the SEC level as well.
So Jasmine Stowers leads a 1-3 finish for LSU in the women's hurdles, and their technique was a whole lot better than the men. And with that 16 points, LSU now crawls within 2 of Florida. Arkansas still back in 3rd. Still to come. The fastest people in the conference take the track in the men's and women's 100 meters. But up next, one of the most anticipated races at this meet, the men's 400 meters. Karani James versus Torin Lawrence and Tony McQuay.
Another victim of frequent flyer red tape.
Seat restrictions got him stuck in a vicious circle.
It's just not right.
I keep earning miles, but it seems like I can never use them.
The all-new Rapid Rewards doesn't have any of that nasty red tape.
Here it comes again.
Let's set them free.
Join Rapid Rewards and enjoy unlimited reward seats, no blackout dates, and no red tape.
When you've got Taco Bell's new Taco 12-pack to bring to parties,
Man, I'm looking for the good life.
you are the party.
That you can't imagine, something you don't know. Man, I'm looking for the good life. Baby girl, I got a ticket. Do you want to go? Swelle, 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 swelle. And we can have a good night. Show me that
12 crunchy tacos from Taco Bell, boxed up for just $10. The new Taco 12-pack. Pick one up next time you throw down.
Welcome to the NCAA Women's College World Series.
It was the perfect day.
Swings in. Good ball. Swings in the bottom of the 8th.
Lost in this moment.
Championship 11 for UCLA.
The road to the Women's College World Series, presented by Capital One. Super Regionals, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on ESPNU.
Tired of sharing a slow DSL connection with the whole family?
Have you seen our stuff?
Stuff? What stuff?
Switch to the fastest internet speeds and let it all in with Charter.
I got no pulse, we're losing him.
Charging. He's in V-Fit.
Shocking.
Drives it road all the time. Just had a few drinks. Just can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear.
You just buzzed.
Just buzzed. You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right, this isn't happening. You'll be fine.
I feel good.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving.
Clear.
Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shocking.
And we're back at the University of Georgia for more of our coverage of the SEC Track and Field Championships. Lewis Johnson talks about the difference between indoor and outdoor quarter-miling.
On the outdoor track, these 48-inch lanes separate the long strides and swinging arms of the quarter-milers all the way around the track, but that's not the case indoor, where runners take to the lanes for the first turn and then break for the pole, and that's when things can get wild. At the recent NCAA Indoor National Championships, we saw a NASCAR-like crash between Alabama's Karani James when he was clipped from behind by Texas A&M's Tabari Henry. Now, James was the favorite in this final, but as he broke for the pole, wheels and fenders collided at high speeds. James with the big thud and the spin out, and how James escaped a ride in an ambulance to the hospital is a miracle. Now, Henry went on to win, but Karani James told me that he's hoping today that he can come out here and stay within his barriers and make his way right at that home straightaway and take the checkered flag as the SEC Outdoor Track and Field champion in the 400.
Nobody has longer strides than Karani James, and I'm sure he's thrilled to stay in his lane for the entire race of 400 meters.
The temperature in the low 70s. The wind is really the issue. It's gusting all over the place. It says west-northwest, 11 to 20 miles per hour, and the humidity very low for the southeast. It's been great for the the longer runner athletes as we get ready for now our next event on the track, the men's 400 meters final. Tabari Henry of Texas A&M has the fastest time in the country, and the SEC record by Olympic medalist Derek Brew. And this is Karani James. This guy may be the man of not only the hour, but of the future in the 400 meters. An 18-year-old sophomore, defending champion, and the third fastest ever indoors at the distance. What a talent he is, Larry.
His time that he ran at 44.80 seconds, Dwight, was the fourth fastest 400 meters indoors run in history. And he's 18. He could be a high school senior in America, any place type thing. And he's grown. He was 5'10 and a half when he was like 14 years of age, and set world bests from 14, 15, and 16 years of age.
Torrin Lawrence of Georgia, the host team outside of him in lane 7.
Has had a brilliant career here, despite injuries over 2 years with hip flexors. His lifetime best indoors, you know, and it's his best outdoors, 45.03 seconds.
And then inside James, down in lane 5, Tony McQuay, who's trying to run himself back into shape after some injuries after the indoor season. Tough for you to run rounds when you don't have that background.
Just a sophomore, one of the team leaders in here. Terrific guy. He's back from injury from the indoor championships.
And then down in lane 4, I love this story. This is James Harris of Mississippi State, a freshman. He just cleared the bar at 6'11 in the high jump and then jumps over into lane 4 to run the 400 meters. It's a man after my own heart.
No, wait a minute. You never ran the 400.
Sure did.
Did you? How
and
fast?
The 4x400. 49.2. Open.
Good. That's good. I didn't know that.
But it's James, Karani James of Alabama and Grenada in lane 6, the one to watch. He doesn't get off the block as fast as everybody else. And this wind could be a factor on the backstretch. It's gusting quite a bit, and James getting out a little faster than he normally does. Pretty much everybody in sync. James Harris, the only one losing a little ground on the stagger.
And James has not asserted himself completely yet. He's probably got a step lead on the rest of the field. Now he's picking it up with 200 to go.
In the far turn, and he's leaning forward. That's a form that you will start to get very used to out of Karani James. And now Tony McQuay making a move for Florida on the inside. It is McQuay and James on his outside. And here comes the strength of Karani James. He will repeat as SEC champion in the 400 meters. 44.86, and believe me, these are not ideal conditions for running a fast time in the 400, and he just did.
The fastest time run for 400 meters in the world this year belongs to Rondell Bartholomew, 44.65, from the island of Grenada. The same place where Karani James comes from himself. He no doubt knew that. But he took his time on the backstretch, folks. He ran into the teeth of a wind. The flag was totally unfurled he was running into. Look at the strength and power. He's about 6 feet 3 inches tall at 18 years of age now. Leans forward the most, but look at the symmetry of his movement of his legs. And he really just hammered back. He has taken into doing some cross-country training this year as a 400-meter runner. Many don't do that. And he ran repeat 500-yard intervals. He said, I'm stronger than I've ever been before. He said, and it helps in the latter parts of my race. And look what he did in the last 100 meters. Look how he pulled away, even from an outstanding runner like Tony McQuay.
All right, Dwight, thanks a lot. Well, Karani, what were your thoughts on tactics as the wind really picked up here the last few moments?
Well, just running on the back straight, just trying to pace myself because the wind can it can take out a lot of your energy. But I just went out there and I paced myself, and I came home strong.
You know, you're scary to watch. You're only 18, and you seem to have been to the level here. But what are your thoughts when it comes to world championships and Olympics and potential records that might be in your reach? You think about that sometimes?
Well, all these are ultimate goals, but right now,
what are those goals?
I'm just running fast. I mean, right now I'm just focusing on getting to regionals and the 4x4 this afternoon, and I'm just taking step by step.
I admire you. You're not willing to say it, but we know what's coming. Good job. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
All right, Dwight.
All right, Lewis, an impressive performance for Karani James considering the conditions. One just dreams about what he might do going forward. And now Florida really pulling away. 18-point lead over host Georgia with Arkansas back in third. Still to come, the men's 100 meters without Jeff Demps. But up next, it's the women's turn at one lapping. Shalise Williams versus Regina George and Joanna Atkins in the 400.
History.
The Cardinals are your Big East Tournament champions.
Opportunity.
St. John's will represent the Big East in the NCAA tournament.
With an automatic bid to the regionals at stake, it's time for the best to rise to the occasion.
A huge two-run double. Wow. A swing and a miss. Down he goes.
The Big East Championship game, Sunday at noon on ESPNU.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
Here's one. There's one. They're everywhere. Cars with hazy, dull, oxidized headlights. Now you can't see at night. Replacing them can take hours and cost hundreds of dollars. Don't do it. Save time, money, and more. Get Fast Bright Lens Restore. The Lens Restore kit that brings your headlights back to showroom new in as little as 30 seconds. Just wipe it on and wipe it off. And watch the haze turn to crystal clear. It's that easy.
It was amazing. It was magic.
The secret is Fast Bright Lens Restore's professional formula that removes the outer layer of oxidation. Then it polishes, seals, and protects. Do it yourself in as little as 30 seconds with Fast Bright Lens Restore for just $20. Call right now and we'll cut the price in half. You get the complete Fast Bright Lens Restore kit for just $10. But to make this the best deal on TV, we'll double the offer. Just pay separate processing and handling. You'll get 2 complete Fast Bright Lens Restore kits, an amazing $40 value for only $10. Call or click now.
Like Demps will not be in the final. News it comes from nowhere back. And we're back at the University of Georgia for more of our coverage of the SEC Track and Field Championships. Dwight Stones along with Larry Rawson and Lewis Johnson. Let's take a look at the standings on the men's side. Florida with an 18-point lead over host Georgia, then Arkansas 4 back. And on the women's side, Florida with a 15-point lead over LSU, and then Arkansas 7 points back in third. Next race on the track, the women's 400 meters. Jessica Beard of Texas A&M with the best time in the country on the college ranks. Mickey Barber, the SEC record from 10 years ago. And down in lane 3 from Arkansas, sophomore Regina George, also running the 200 meters, second at this year's NCAA Indoor Championships.
I've said this before, a woman's got a lot of talent. Just a sophomore, and let's see how strong she is in the last 150 meters or so of this 400-meter race. She's got exceptional stamina.
She'll be in lane 3. Out in lane 5, Auburn senior Joanna Atkins. She's the defending champion.
And also the NCAA champion back in 2009 at 400 meters. And she's coming back from a hyperextension of her knee indoors. Has been running well, is healthy. Let's see what she can do today.
And out in lane 7, Arkansas senior Shalise Williams. She was the indoor champion for this conference and third at the NCAA Indoor Championships.
And 3 days ago had food poisoning. She seemed to have recovered from this based on how well she did just yesterday in her 400-meter heat. And she has the fastest time in the SEC this outdoor season, 52.12 seconds.
LSU with no finalists in this 400 meters, but Arkansas has 3 women that can score in this race. Regina George in 3, Whitney Jones in 4, and Shalise Williams out in 7. So a big, big opportunity for the Lady Razorbacks to make a move on the LSU Lady Tigers. As we take another look at Joanna Atkins, the Auburn senior. It's her title to defend. And it really is going to come down to how well they They manage their energy from the prelims as well as the wind that's been gusting on that backstretch.
Wait, let me make a little correction. Atkins actually edged out the fastest time that Charlize had at the SECs. In her qualifying heat, she ran 51.99, did Atkins.
So George in 3, Atkins in 5, and Charlize Williams in 7. Charlize will only have one athlete outside her, Ebony Utsi, to key off of for the first 3 quarters of the race. Final of the women's 400 meters. 3 Arkansas runners in this race hoping to score some points, and off quickly is Joanna Atkins in lane 5.
Atkins up by about 2 to 3 strides on everybody into that little backstretch wind. It could be strong, it could be weak, we don't know.
Regina George struggling into this wind, as is Charlize Williams. Now it's going to be a matter of strength as the wind starts to turn to their back. How much energy did they expend fighting that gust on the backstretch? Joanna Atkins still in command as they come off the turn, but did she use too much energy into the teeth of that wind? Charlize Williams from Arkansas in lane 7 trying to make a move up the finishing stretch. Is she going to have enough room? No. Joanna Atkins is going to hang on to repeat as SEC champion. Williams will be second, and in lane 6, Jenna Martin, the senior from Kentucky, will get 3rd.
And Regina George came on for 4th place, Dwight, for Arkansas as far as points go. The time, 51. Oh, we'll have to wait till it comes up again. They've got it off the screen at the moment.
Looks like 51.83, which will be another improvement on her personal best. So a fine performance for Joanna Atkins in 1st, but Arkansas gets 2nd, 4th, and 6th place points, 16, and now they are just 10 behind the Florida Lady Gators. Up next, the Jeff Dempsless 100 meters. It's wide open without the Florida Gator star. And a report on how the recent tornado down in Tuscaloosa affected all of the University of Alabama athletes here in Georgia.
Special Olympics has a program you may not have heard of. It's called Unified Sports. It brings together an athlete, like me, and a partner,
like me.
So Willie and Susie compete together. Good-looking team. I'm Kenny Mayne from ESPN. Special Olympics Unified Sports brings together people with and without intellectual disabilities, taking them off the sidelines and onto the field. Call your state Special Olympics to join a program or get one started at your child's school. Special Olympics Unified Sports. Be a fan.
If you go out of your way to fly with an airline, does that airline go out of its way to reward you? It should, because loyalty is a two-way street. And when one side gives, the other has to give back. Dedicated Redcoat customer service, more first-class upgrades, miles that don't expire. This isn't benevolence. This is our business. And the next time an airline asks for yours, ask them first what they've done to deserve it.
Did your sofa collapse from sagging springs? It's impossible to get up. Now get instant sagging sofa support with Furniture Fix. The difference will amaze you. The panels lock together for any size, perfect for sagging seats. Every chair, everywhere. The difference in height is day and night. It even works on any mattress. Bad springs hurt your back, but Furniture Fix adds instant support. We placed Furniture Fix under this old couch, then tested it with 2 sumo wrestlers, even with 1,000 pounds. The couch didn't sag or sink. Now get Furniture Fix for just $14.99. You get a second set as a bonus. Just pay separate processing and handling. You get 4 furniture movers and the couch pouch for your remote, both free. You get it all. A $60 value for $14.99. So call now.
To order Furniture Fix for just $14.99, call 1-800-773-3988 or online at FurnitureFix.com. This offer is not available in stores.
Welcome back to the University of Georgia for more of our SEC track and field coverage. In late April, an exceptionally violent spring storm ravaged Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as well as 5 other states. Quarter miler Joel Lynch from Alabama's track team remembers all too well the fear and devastation wrought by Mother Nature's nightmare.
Once I saw it, I got scared, I got nervous.
I ran to my walk-in closet and I just got down and just covered myself up and got in the ball. And about 10 seconds later, it hit and everything just fell down. I kind of just dug myself up out the rubble. I was completely in the rubble and the walls was all over me and everything was just trash. There was people buried underneath. There was people screaming. There was car alarms going off. There was cars flipped over. That was the moment where I just stood there and looked and took it all in. I'm blessed to be alive in one piece, and a lot of people didn't make it through the storm, and I have to thank God at the end of the day.
The tornado fortunately spared Joel's life and barely missed the University of Alabama, but hundreds of buildings were leveled, power lines destroyed. Lewis Johnson caught up with Alabama men's head coach Harvey Glantz.
Well, April 29th is a day that the state of Alabama will not forget. The tornadoes that came across and wreaked incredible havoc and devastation. Harvey Glantz, decorated American sprinter, a native of the state and also been the head coach at Alabama for the last 14 years. Can you just speak to us about how this tornado not only devastated the state of Alabama but also Tuscaloosa?
Well, Lewis, I tell you, it was one of the most catastrophic situations I've ever seen in my life. When I got back, I saw it on TV, but when I arrived back into the city of Tuscaloosa, it was just very, very devastating. One of my young athletes, Joel Lynch, got affected by that. He lost everything. He lost his house, he lost his car, he lost his clothes and everything. But but we have really tried to do a fine job of giving him a lot of morale booster and being supportive. The athletic department has done an outstanding job. The city of Tuscaloosa has done an outstanding job. Even the federal government has done a wonderful job of getting in there. And President Obama was into the city the next day after it happened, and we're very, very grateful for that. And I think you know by now the SEC has donated over $500,000 to the University of Alabama in the relief fund.
Well, you know that our thoughts and prayers are with all of you, and you notice that Harvey has on the ribbon there sort of a symbolic gesture, but all the athletes have the same thing on their uniforms throughout this weekend here at the SEC Outdoor Championships. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you, Lewis.
Not only did the entire state and country come together to help, but the Southeastern Conference contributed $500,000 to the recovery down at Tuscaloosa.
Well, this is not the location that Jeff Demps expected to find himself in just before the start of the men's 100 meters. He's in the stands because he was DQ'd yesterday for a false start in the prelims. So he will be watching this final along with all of his teammates and spectators as we now have the next event on the track, the men's 100-meter final. Florida State's Makusha has the best time in the country this year. Silver medalist from the Olympics, Richard Thompson of LSU, and Trinidad and Tobago, the SEC record. And to say that Jeff Demps' absence in the 100 meters has diminished this final a bit is certainly not an overstatement, but there's still some very fast athletes in this, including in lane 4, the Auburn junior, Harry Adams, who was second to Demps at the SEC Indoor Championships at 60 meters.
Coach Ralph Spry has extolled this guy as far as his talent goes and his work ethic. And next to him is Keenan Brock, a freshman, and the two of them trained together, both in excellent shape for this event. He ran very well in this heat.
And on the outside, it's going to be, and that's it, look at Keenan Brock there in lane 5. On the outside from Arkansas and Estonia, Merrick Niet, who has a lot of work on his plate. 100, 200, both relays. Very strong, had a horrible start in the prelims and managed to recover and get into this final. And then on the other end of the ladder, down in lane 1 for the 4th time in an SEC final, this is Terrell Wilkes. And of course, Florida hoping for some points here from him because no points from Demps sitting in the stands.
Wilkes was the Connecticut state champion in the 100 and record holder in high school.
And Adams out well. Great start, terrible start for Keenan Brock. But out in lane 6, it's Mike Granger, had hurt himself in the prelims. Can he hold up? Granger trying to do it, but down on the inside, Wilkes may have stolen it. It was Wilkes, and next to him, Dentarius Locke of Tennessee. Yes, and Wilkes does win it. Heavily wind aided, 3 meters per second, but he runs 10.11, and there is where Coach Mike Holloway picked the points back up. They were counting on Demps for 10 points. And instead, the 4-time finalist, senior Terrell Wilkes, steals it from lane 1.
You don't want to be in the outside bookends, either Nitt on the left or Wilkes on the right. It tells you that you barely get into the final here. The guys with the fastest time in the middle. And look at him, he holds on to a slight lead out of the blocks. He runs very well. The guys in the center of the track can't quite make it up fully. And at the end of the day, it winds up to be Wilkes by a lean at the tape. He wins by 1/100th of a second over Tennessee's freshman Dentarius Locke, getting the victory.
So there was a lot of wind in that race. Mike Granger, who looked like he was going to be winning in the middle of the race, ended up 4th. But those were some unexpected 10 points for Florida in that 100. And the surprise winner is downstairs with Lewis.
All right, Dwight, thanks a lot. Well, Terrell, with Demps out, how much pressure did you take on your back to try and deliver those points for Florida?
Well, I ain't take no pressure. I didn't put it all on myself. I put it on my team. We had a meeting last night. Told everybody it wasn't a catastrophic experience that Jeff didn't make it. Things happen, and we just got to step up. So I knew it was my time. I've been here for 4 years, finishing places I ain't like to finish. It feel good to end my last SEC 100 with a win.
How about those last few steps when it looked like it was going to be a blanket finish, but you're able to keep your poise and get that lean for the win?
Coach told me if I get out my top end, nobody I trusted in my training and it happened.
I'm sure he's looking for you to give you a hug. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All righty. Dwight.
All right, Lewis, 4th time's the charm. Terrell Wilkes steps up for his absent teammate and scores 10 for the Gators, who extend their lead to 28 over Arkansas. Up next, it's the ladies on the straightaway. Can diminutive Kia Brookins match her indoor prowess?
One, two, three, hit it. Watch me. Watch me. I got it. Hey! I got something that makes me want to shout. I got something that tells me what it's all about. I got soul. I'm super bad.
It's your fuel before, during, and after. Get out what you put in. Gatorade.
Action, excitement, competition. Score.com is a style of auction where you pay a small fee for each bid. When the bidding stops, the item sells, even if the price is a penny. Winners can save up to 99% off retail price. After you sign up, enter ESPN and you'll receive $10 in free bids. Score It features gift cards, gold bars, sports collectibles, and consumer electronics. And Score It is an accredited member of the Better Business Bureau. Go to Score It now and get $10 in free bids. ScoreIt.com. You bid, you score.
Welcome to the NCAA Women's College World Series.
It was the perfect day.
Swings in. Good ball. Swings in the bottom of the 8th.
Lost in this moment now.
Championship 11 for UCLA.
The road to the Women's College World Series, presented by Capital One. Super Regionals, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on ESPNU.
Family, I've got a little surprise. We are going on a little trip.
Where are we going? Paris? To the beach?
Nope, even better. We're going to Big O Tires.
Big O Tires? You had no idea.
Okay, nobody gets that excited about tires. Unless it's time for Big O Tires Ready to Road Trip Special. We'll get your car ready to hit the road for just $29.99. Plus, get up to $100 traded on your old tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
You followed a big dream with no guarantees and found big opportunity, even in tough times. They may call your business small, but you've never done bigger things. Charter Business offers reliable internet, phone, and TV solutions to power your success. And right now, you can save up to 40% by bundling Charter Business services. Plus, get free installation. Call now to help your business do bigger things.
We're back at the University of Georgia for more of our coverage of the SEC Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Dwight Stones along with Larry Rawson and Lewis Johnson. The next event on the track is the women's 100 meters, and English Gardner, the freshman from Oregon, ran at 11:03, winning the Pac-10 championships, and the SEC record held by Karan Stewart of Auburn and Jamaica, who won a silver medal at the Olympic Games in Beijing. And this is Kimberlyn Duncan of LSU, the sophomore, lane 3. We've already seen her anchor a successful LSU 4x100 meter relay victory earlier. She's already won the SEC and NCAA indoor 200-meter title. Samoy Hackett, who I think, Larry, looked the best in the prelims.
Yeah, I actually like Brookins, but she certainly looked good. Look how powerfully built she is. Explosiveness is part of sprinting, and they do a lot of weight work. Look at those shoulders. Wow.
And really blew it open in the 4x1. And right next to her in lane 5, it's the SEC and NCAA indoor champion at 60 meters, senior Lakia Brookins.
Boy, she had a spectacular senior year, even thus far. It's almost over with, but look what she did indoors. She dominated the race from start to finish, tied the National Collegiate 60-meter record at 7.09 seconds. She gets out of the blocks faster than anybody. She's got the best top-end speed in the middle of the race. And the thing she's got to worry about is latter part of the race. Sometimes the taller runners can gain on her, but she is just spectacular here. She's had a very fine outdoor season as well.
And that 7:09 was the fastest time in the world in the 60-meter dash, but now there's 40 meters added, a full 100. Here's how they'll line up. Lakia Brookins in 5, Hackett in 4. LSU with 3 runners in this final.
Set.
That's a good start for Lakia Brookins out in lane 5. Brookins is out. She's gone. Can Samoy Hackett reel her in? Hackett trying to make it happen. Brookins is going to. Oh, it's a photo. It's right across the middle between Brookins, Hackett, and Duncan. And we're waiting for the official read on the photo. But Lakia Brookins was out.
It is Samoy Hackett.
And Samoy Hackett, my prediction, leans her out at the tape. 1/100th of a second between Hackett and Brookins, and no separation on time between Brookins and Duncan for second and third. Wow. What a great race. It was wind aided, just slightly over the allowable, 2.4.
Which is just over 5 miles per hour, 5 1/4 or so miles per hour. Look at Brookins get out. It kind of happened the way we spelled it out. Out great is Brookins. Holds top end speed well, but she's short, 5 feet 2 inches tall. Taller runners take a longer stride. They tend to run her down just a little bit at this level particularly. And what competition we had in both the men's 100 and the women's 100. 2/100ths of a second separated first from third in the men's, and 1/100th from first for third in the women's 100.
And my predicted winner is downstairs with Lewis.
And Samoy Hackett gathering her thoughts. So take us back to the last 10 meters of the race where you and Brookins were really going at it, and how did you eke out this win?
I remain relaxed as possible and try to search at the end of the race with my knees coming up as it's supposed to.
And how exciting is it to have won the SEC championship there, really in the last steps?
I'm very excited. I've been working on my start for the last 3 weeks, and I think it's getting better.
Samoy, congratulations. Dwight?
All right, Lewis. Samoy Hackins, the junior from LSU, leads a 1-3-4 finish for the Lady Tigers. 21 points for LSU. That might just do it with a lot of track meet left to go. She wins it in 11:01. Lakia Brookins hanging on for second, just barely. Look at that photo. Almost impossible to separate. And then Kimberlyn Duncan, the sophomore from LSU, getting third. But 21 points for LSU vaults them all the way up to within 1 point of Florida on the women's side. Arkansas still hanging on in third. The team title will be determined between those 3 teams.
Tennessee's Annie Alexander, bucking to become a double champion here after her victory in the discus, uses the glide technique to fire the shot out on her 5th throw, 57 feet 5 inches, and get the victory. She does it by a margin of 2.5 feet.
The double-double is great. To come back and do it almost 3 years after, I just got to learn to compete harder. Get up there, make a mark before the finals. I'm struggling a little bit with that, but I'm really happy that I could compete and come back and not freak out at the same time.
Let's check the men's standings before this 800 meters. Florida with a sizable lead in first, and Georgia and Arkansas tied for second, but the 800 is a big event for the Razorbacks. Next event on the track, the men's 800 meters. Charles Jock of UC Irvine with the best time in the country this year. Otekile Lakote of South Carolina has the SEC record. 9 finalists in this 800, so they're grouping them in one group of 6, and then you're seeing the group of 3 there on your screen. Arkansas with 4 finalists here, including the doubling back Dorian Ulray and Duncan Phillips from their 1-2 finish in the 1,500 meters. This is a huge event for Arkansas if they're hoping to overtake Florida for the team title.
You know, Dwight, if they're smart, the rest of the athletes, with 4 Arkansas athletes, particularly Ulray in the race and also Phillips, who went 1-2 in the 1,500 meters, they will take the pace out and not let this get tactical, because they raced that 1,500 meters just 1 hour and 15 minutes ago. Their legs could still be heavy. Let's see what happens. The pace looks solid on the backstretch. I wouldn't say it's lightning fast, but it's not really slow yet.
And conversely, if Arkansas is smart, they will really try to run team tactics, somewhat like the Kenyans do, and try to make it the race for Phillips and Ulray.
Absolutely. Get out in the lead, slow it down. Let's see what happens. They haven't quite done that yet. They're up in the lead pack, several of them are.
Well, they're certainly trying. Chris Billabrew and Leomon Momo of Arkansas are up there, at least trying to buff the wind. Now here comes Dorian Ulray. He won the 1,500.
Here comes
Phillips. He's leading, and here comes Phillips. It's 4 Arkansas Razorbacks in the top 4 of this 9-man final.
The pace did slow down. 57-27 by the first 400 meters. Plays into the hands of both Phillips and Ulray. They've got great stamina, excellent speed. Look at them try and take the kick out of these other guys and break away and get as much lead as they can. Arkansas looks like it's 1 through 4 right now.
Coach Mike Holloway of Florida's got to be wondering what is going on here. Arkansas 1, 2, 3. Their 4th guy now fading badly, but it's Dorian Ulray up at the front. Phillips trying to stay in there. And amongst all that is Fred Samoy, who's trying to make the race for himself individually. Ulray trying to run away from this pack. It's a different kettle of fish than it was in the 1,500, but Ulray looks like he's going to pull it off. It is Dorian Ulray. Duncan Phillips also coming up. So Fred Samoy able to break up a sweep by Arkansas, which we saw in the 1,500. He ends up 2nd. But it looked from here like Arkansas went 1, 3, 4, and that's a huge amount of points for the Razorbacks. 21 points. I'm sure they expected to do well, but not that well. And we're just now getting word that Fred Samoy of Alabama was disqualified for a bump on the backstretch. So it is a sweep for the Razorbacks in the 800, same as the 1,500. So the corrected scores, Florida just 6 points ahead in the team standings. And then Georgia, with almost all the bullets out of their gun, well back in 3rd. In the women's 800 meters, it was a wire-to-wire performance by junior Chanel Price of Tennessee.
Price had run extraordinarily well in the heats, running 2 minutes and 4 seconds to qualify, led all qualifiers. She's the SEC indoor 800-meter champion, and she repeats Dwight outdoors, holding off Stephanie Brown of Arkansas for the victory.
But Arkansas managed to score 9 points in that 800 meters. So looking at the women's standings, LSU with a 6-point advantage over Florida. Arkansas still lurking back in 3rd. Up next, the men's and women's furlong.
When you're traveling for work, do you worry about the safety of your wife and kids at home? At night, when you lock up and go to bed, would you feel better knowing that your security system is virtually impossible to defeat? You know protecting your family and home is important, but some of the prices for security systems can be pretty scary. The scariest thought of all is what can happen if you don't find the right home security system. The days of expensive home security systems are gone. Now you can protect your home and family for much less than ADT will charge, thanks to LifeShield Home Security. Call now and save. You can try LifeShield for free. That's right, you get 30 full days of free home security. The old school hardwired products just can't match this offer. LifeShield is the best protection for your home at the best price, guaranteed. If you can find a lower price, we'll beat it. Unlike other systems, LifeShield stays on when there's a power outage, if your internet goes down, even if your phone lines are cut. That's right, you get 3 layers of backup protection and all you need is an internet connection. Plus, LifeShield's technology and mobile apps allow you to arm and disarm your system and completely monitor your home from anywhere in the world free. That's right, you don't have to pay anything extra with LifeShield. To get mobile access from ADT, it would cost you over $55 a month. Why pay hundreds more for worse protection when you can get the best protection and save hundreds of dollars with LifeShield? Plus, you'll get absolutely free mobile access and specialized mobile apps. Can you really afford not to protect your family now? For a limited time, you can try LifeShield yourself for free. Get the best protection at the best price. Call now and protect your home and family free for 30 full days. Pay only shipping. What are you waiting for?
This is a limited time offer, so call 1-877-982-3723. That's 1-877-982-3723. Call now.
Back in Athens, Georgia, our next event on the track, the women's 400-meter hurdles. So Pearson in 4, Tate, the LSU sophomore, in 5, Wortham, the junior from Tennessee, in 6.
Tate out well. She is the defending SEC champion in this event and had the fastest qualifying time. Look at her go.
She is running away with this and into the teeth of that wind on the backstretch. Doesn't even look like she's being headed by it at all. But you always wonder when someone goes out this fast, there is a price potentially to pay. Wortham is trying to give pursuit, but it is all...
Wortham is tough, Dwight. In the last half of a race, Wortham is tough. She's got a lot of ground to make up if Tate should tie up. Tate looks good here, although she's missing her steps here, approaching the hurdles.
But Wortham is making a race out of it, and Tate, a big, long stride. She lost a lot of momentum going to that 10th hurdle, and here comes the strength of Ellen Wortham.
And the fastest collegiate time in the country this year, 55.70 seconds for Ellen Wortham.
And that is the best time in the country for a collegian, 55.70 for the Tennessee junior, 10 points for Tennessee. And let's take a look at the women's standings after that hurdle race. LSU still with just a 9-point lead over Florida. And then Arkansas another 9 points back in third.
Maria Ogutis from Georgia came to the university after being the 2007 Swedish national champion as a teenager in the triple jump. And at 5 feet 9 inches tall, she's got all of the talent to really make good in this event. She came into the year as a 42-foot 8-inch jumper, and she leaves with an SEC title here, jumping 43 feet 7 1/4 inches as a wind-aided jump.
In the men's 400 hurdles, Lee Moore, the senior from Ole Miss, leads a 1-2 sweep for the Rebels. And Keith Hayes of Kentucky repeats his 110-meter hurdle third-place finish for the 6 points for Kentucky. So the men's standings after that race, Florida with 118 points, but Arkansas closing hard, just 4 points back, and then host Georgia in third. Our next event, the men's 200 meters. Maurice Mitchell of Florida State has the best time in the country this year in the collegiate ranks. SEC record held by Justin Gatlin, the 2004 Olympic champion in the 100 meters. Down in lane 3, that is Georgia junior Torrin Lawrence, who finished 5th in the 400 earlier, trying to get some more points for the Bulldogs. He'll be in lane 3.
He has been healthy all year, Dwight, as opposed to 2 hip flexor injuries in the last 2 years.
Inner blocks, men's 200.
And there's Terrell Wilkes, the senior from Florida, who was the surprise winner in the 100 meters. And also watch out in lane 6 and 5, Merrick Nitt of Arkansas trying to get more points for the Razorbacks, and Horatio Williams of LSU trying to hold them off for the Tigers. An even start for everyone.
Oh, look how even it is here on the outside 4.
Williams really doing a good job keeping his head down through the turn, but it's a blanket coming up the final stretch. It's Terrell Wilkes in 4, but here comes Horatio Williams. It's Williams, then Nitt. Nitt is coming in lane 6. He will win it. Merrick Nitt with the strength that he has from running 4x400s and 400-meter training. He can do it all from 100 to 400, and he gets 10 important points for Arkansas. And that just continues to make them the favorite now to take the team title. A big blow for Florida, with Nitt now winning the 200 meters.
Unofficially, the time 20.44 seconds for him. The wind looks to be legal. And he just powers along here. We talked about how he does well. I did late in a race. Look at him just come on. He holds top end speed extraordinarily well, and that makes the difference for him over the last 75 meters. His 400-meter training, Dwight, holds in great stead in the last 50 meters of a race.
And that first fourth finish for the Razorbacks catapults them to an 11.5-point lead over Florida, with Georgia still trailing.
The perfect day. Working if I could find a way to stay. Championship 11 for UCLA.
The road to the Women's College World Series Super Regionals, Friday at 2 on ESPNU.
Here's one. There's one. They're everywhere. Cars with hazy, dull, oxidized headlights. Now you can't see at night. Replacing them can take hours and cost hundreds of dollars. Don't do it. Save time, money, and more. Get Fast Bright Lens Restore. The Lens Restore kit that brings your headlights back to showroom new in as little as 30 seconds. Just wipe it on and wipe it off. And watch the haze turn to crystal clear. It's that easy.
It was amazing. It was magic.
The secret is Fast Bright Lens Restore's professional formula that removes the outer layer of oxidation. Then it polishes, seals, and protects. Do it yourself in as little as 30 seconds with Fast Bright Lens Restore for just $20. Call right now and we'll cut the price in half. You get the complete Fast Bright Lens Restore kit for just $10. But to make this the best deal on TV, we'll double the offer. Just pay separate processing and handling. You'll get 2 complete Fast Bright Lens Restore kits, an amazing $40 value for only $10. Call or click now.
The NCAA Lacrosse Championship semifinals, Saturday on ESPN2.
We're back on the campus of the University of Georgia in Athens for more of our coverage of the SEC Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Dwight Stones along with Larry Rawson and Lewis Johnson bringing you the action. Next event on the track, the women's 200 meters, the collegiate best by Kimberlyn Duncan of LSU. She is in this race. And the SEC record held by Debbie Ferguson, one of the Golden Girls from the Bahamas. And a lot of athletes doubling back in this race as well. In lane 5, Kimberlyn Duncan has had a busy day, doubling back from the 100 and the 4x1. Third in the 100 meters just a little while ago.
Psychologically, I think, Dwight, she's saying, this is my event. This is my event. Started running in the 7th grade and was a sprinter. Mom and Dad really encouraged her, and she got motivated and did well through high school. And coming from Katy, Texas, she said, I got some letters from people, but no follow-up phone calls, except from LSU and Coach Dennis Shaver. He said, as soon as I saw her, I thought she was going to be a star. I loved her build, and the rest is history. Samoy, winner of the 100 here. And we'll see what happens. So the inter-rivalry in the team is pretty interesting here.
And she really broke up in the 4x100 relay on the backstretch, winning that 100 as well. And then out in lane 7, Regina George, she's doubling back from her 4th place finish in the 400. Important points for the Lady Razorbacks in this 200 meters.
All 3 ladies, underclassmen, be back again next year.
Nivea Smith of Auburn also in this race down in lane 4. She was 5th in the 100 meters. And they'll get a little bit of an advantage from the wind finally, mostly at their back.
Collegiate best 22.85. Let's see what they can turn in here.
So it's Duncan, the sophomore from LSU, in 5, Hackett in 6, George in 7.
I think they'll be close to that time.
Out evenly, maybe a little bit of an advantage for Samoy Hackett out in 6. Duncan also running very well through the turn. And it's Hackett's going to come off the turn first, the winner of the 100 meters, leading into 200. But here comes Kimberlyn Duncan on her inside, trying to avenge the loss on the 100. And then it is Nivea Smith in 4, but Kimberlyn Duncan lifts the best in the final straightaway. It is a 1-2 finish for the Lady Tigers. Duncan, she turns the tables on her teammate Hackett. They go 1-2.
22.27 seconds the wind over the allowable limit, 3.4 meters per second. That's high. You're working up around 6 to 7 miles per hour, but nonetheless an outstanding time and performance for the tall, lanky young lady from Katy, Texas, and just a sophomore in college.
Well, you mentioned this is her race. The 200 is what she's best at. She was the SEC and NCAA indoor champion at the distance.
Gun goes off, they blow out. It's often the case. The 100-meter champion running at 200 meters gets out more quickly in almost all cases, men and women. And that's what happened here to Samoy Hackett, her teammate. And I'm sure Duncan felt that she would be behind by maybe 1 or 2 steps, but she just was patient and made up the ground. Taller and more angular, longer striding, and she certainly did that. Look at her just close on the finish line and wins by about a step over her training mate.
And the winner's downstairs with Lewis Johnson.
Well, Kimberlyn, talk about this home straightaway where your teammate Samoy was leading the way, but you're able to close and finish at the end.
Samoy, I knew she was going to pull me out the curve, so I just knew I had to stick with her and then push it on out like I normally do.
How do you guys encourage each other? Everybody doubling, tripling, it's all about grabbing the points for you all, the Lady Tigers, but how do you make it through a big weekend like this, 4 days of SEC track and field action?
During the off season and during season, just training hard, and with us, we're all competitive within each other, so we knew that everybody has to do what they have to do to get out here and win.
All right, Kimberlyn, thanks.
Thank you.
Dwight?
So that 1-2 sweep by the LSU Lady Tigers effectively makes them SEC champions. Kimberlyn Duncan with a win date at 22-27. Here are the standings after that race. A 33-point advantage for LSU over Florida, and Arkansas well back in third. Back with more from Athens.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, still for one low price. And join us Monday, May 30th for Memorial Day breakfast.
That airline is going to nail that frequent flyer with restrictions when he tries to use his miles.
That's a lot of red tape. Step on it. I can't escape the red tape. Now you can with Rapid Rewards. Come on.
Join Rapid Rewards and enjoy unlimited reward seats, no blackout dates, and no red tape.
All college sports, all the time.
Gets inside, shoots and scores. South Carolina wins the College World Series.
We bring you the latest news.
Welcome into SportsCenter U.
All the way deep.
Diving play. The goal's good.
Exclusive specials.
That's a stiff front leg.
And the biggest stories on campus.
What an amazing play out in left field.
SportsCenter U, only on ESPN.
Mom?
She's on the phone. She's on the phone.
Hi. So I have some news. I wanted to call you first. We found out what we're going to have today. We're having a boy. Yeah. I know.
Let it all in with Charter Phone and get unlimited nationwide calling.
I got no pulse. We're losing him.
Charging. He's in VFib.
Shock him.
Drives it around all the time. We just had a few drinks. This can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear.
We're just buzzed.
Just buzzed. You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right. This isn't happening. He'll be fine. I feel good.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shock him.
On a warm night To start the competition, the men's 10,000 meters went out slowly, 15 minutes and 13 seconds for the first 5K, and then roaring ahead on the last lap and closing easily, Ben Chariot of Auburn in 14 minutes and 30 seconds for his last 5K. The men's steeplechase gave a lot to cheer about as Matt Cleaver ran very strongly over the last half of the race and won easily. The battle for second and third was interesting. Arkansas trying to score points, but it was Luis Orta from the University of Kentucky that ran him down in the last 200 meters and pulled away by a step to beat out Elliott for second place.
No, this is not the start of a marathon. It's the start of the men's 5,000. Elliott Heath of Stanford with the best time in the country this year. Alistair Craig, the great runner from Arkansas, is the SEC record. No less than 7 Arkansas runners in this race. And let's take a look at the points. A 4.5-point lead for Arkansas. The only event remaining after this 5,000 is the 4x400 relay. Arkansas would like to have more than a 10-point lead coming out of this 5,000 over Florida. That way it doesn't matter what happens in the 4x400. And as I mentioned, Arkansas with no less than 7 runners, but Dorian Ulray and Duncan Phillips, who both ran the 1,500 and the 800 and scored. Ulray doubling and winning the 1,500 and 800, have scratched out of this for Arkansas, but they still have plenty of good runners in it, including number 11, Eric Fernandez, who is certainly capable of scoring points for Arkansas, as is Rick Elliott.
Now we should add here, Dwight, you see this huge, I mean, this is probably the largest group I've ever seen running a 5K on the track in any competition. But this is done because coaches sometimes want to, they enter anybody who has a chance and who is qualified to run in this thing on a time basis in the hopes of scoring points. In Arkansas's case, they have 7 athletes, as you said. They did not push Ulray or Phillips to run a 3rd major race today, feeling they'll get enough points from Eric Fernandez, who's in the race, who's finished 2nd in the 10,000. Rick Elliott, who's a superb steeplechaser as well, had a day to recover here. So we'll see. I think Coach Chris Bucknam feels he will get enough points, at least 6, so that he can secure a victory even if Arkansas in the 4x4 against Florida drops the baton.
Let's go over to the men's high jump. This is Ole Miss sophomore Ricky Robertson, his 2nd attempt at a new personal best, 7 feet 6 inches, and he's over easily and cleanly. This young man is a big talent, a great leaper who is turning into a very good jumper. This is a young man who could make the U.S. World Championship team in June. He easily outdistances this field 7-6, but the real story is that Arkansas scores 8.5 points with their 4 jumpers.
In the men's discus, the speed across the circle, the strength and the technique all came together for this man, senior Colin Bevers of Kentucky, the defending champion. And on the first round, he gets out a throw of 196 feet even and takes the lead and holds it to a victory over Stephen Sines of Auburn, who won the shot put competition.
Those are unofficial results.
Kentucky discus.
It is Fernandez of Arkansas trying to steal the 10 points for the Razorbacks as he extends his lead. Chariot is 2nd. Kamai continues to be 3rd. Ulray says, I don't need to be any better than 4th if Eric keeps going. And Fernandez this has been a long slog. The last 2 full laps is what he's been kicking from. And he's now starting to give a little bit of it back. Chariot now coming back has cut that lead in half. And you can see that Fernandez is really having to fight the wind hard.
Well, it's the speed of Chariot that I talked about. It's not over here for sure. You're looking at him close the gap. He's got a 13-second faster 5,000-meter time this year than Fernandez. Fernandez ran as smart a race as he can. Can he hold on is the question.
So here comes Chariot with 100 meters to go as Fernandez is moving out in the lane 2, but he can't cut him off. But Chariot doesn't pass him with that much authority. There it goes now with 50 meters to go. So Chariot's going to win it. He's going to double back from the 10,000. Fernandez is going to get 8 points for 2nd. Ulray is going to get 5 points for 4th as Kamai gets 3rd for 6th. So that's going to be 8 plus 5. That's 13 for Arkansas. And Florida will have to see where they finish as Ulrey comes across the line for fourth, which is 5 points.
In the blue of Kentucky in fifth.
14:18 for Ulrey, and the champion's time 13 minutes 59 seconds plus. Fernandez 14 minutes plus for his 5,000 race.
So Ben Churiot doubles 10K, 5K, the only one in this race to break 14 minutes. But the story is Arkansas scores 15 points in that 5,000. Their lead is now so large that it doesn't matter what happens to the 4x400 relay.
In the women's 5,000 meters, it was Liz Costello, who's actually got an extra year in graduate school. She graduated from Princeton, did well, was an all-Ivy champion, won the 10,000 earlier, wins the 5,000. Coach J.J. Clark has brought her along very well in the 5 and 10,000 meters in her additional year down at Tennessee.
And back with more from Athens. We'll wrap it up when we return.
Welcome to the NCAA Women's College World Series.
With a perfect day.
Swings in. Good ball. Swings in the bottom of the 8th.
Lost in this moment.
Championship 11 for UCLA.
The road to the Women's College World Series, presented by Capital One. Super Regionals, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on ESPNU.
It's time to take matters into your own hands. AutoZone's got the advice and expertise you need to take on any job, because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
At Enterprise Rent-A-Car, we keep things pretty simple.
Simply treat our customers the way they should be treated.
That's been our philosophy for more than 55 years.
It's no more complicated than that.
Maybe that's why Enterprise is America's favorite place to rent a car.
It's about treating customers the right way.
Let us show you what that means.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
You know what value is? It's being able to afford a clean, comfortable room at Motel 6 when you visit your relatives instead of staying at their house. Can't put a price on that. I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Action, excitement, competition. Score.com is a style of auction where you pay a small fee for each bid. When the bidding stops, the item sells, even if the price is a penny. Winners can save up to 99% off retail price. After you sign up, enter ESPN and you'll receive $10 in free bids. Score features gift cards, gold bars, sports collectibles, and consumer electronics. And Score is an accredited member of the Better Business Bureau. Go to Score It now and get $10 in free bids. Scoreit.com. You bid, you score.
The 4x400 relays did not figure into the team title, so LSU was the original winner of the men's race, but they were disqualified. So Mississippi State wins it, Alabama second, Florida third.
Dwight, the women's 4x4 from Arkansas has been strong all indoor and outdoor season, and they prevailed here by 0.7 of 1 second over Auburn.
So Arkansas wins it handily, 17.5 points over Florida off their middle distance strength. Georgia, the host, a nice job in third. And our Lewis Johnson is downstairs with winning coach Chris Buckman.
All right, well, the Arkansas Razorbacks celebrating an SEC title. Chris, it all seemed to swing in the 5K. You threw a bunch of guys in there. It was all hands on deck. Talk about that moment, watching them score the points they did, and that's where you really secured the victory.
Well, I'll tell you, I brought those 5K guys together. We all did. They were the SEC cross-country champs, and I said we had to do it in the springtime to get this thing taken care of, and they got it done. They did it.
You know, teamwork is the name of the game here, but does anybody personify that more than Dorian Ulrey and everything that he delivered in terms of points and just leadership and effort?
Well, you know what? We've got a few guys like that. Dorian, obviously one of them. Merrick Nitt. Well, how about Merrick Nitt? Yeah! Just great.
It was a big win.
Big win, and it just epitomizes what this team is all about, and that's staying together, trying to win a championship together. We got the best track team in America. There's no question about that.
There's only one thing left, guys. Where's the pig suey?
And on the women's side, it was a comfortable victory for the LSU Tigers, 30 points over Florida. Arkansas, a valiant effort, but finishing third. And Lewis Johnson is downstairs with Coach Dennis Shaver.
striking and win another SEC title. Dennis, how do you describe what we've seen out of your ladies over the last 4 days?
Well, it's been a great challenge for us, you know, taking it just day by day. And of course, we had some really outstanding performances in all the event areas, and that's what's so satisfying about it. It was truly a team effort here in Athens, and I was fortunate to come out on top.
And what's so amazing to all of us is how you keep this level of performance in the SEC and really across the nation year after year. How do you do that?
Well, it's not really us. It's the athletes that are doing all the work, to say the least. And you know, they listen, they just work really hard, and of course it's always so satisfying and gratifying for us to be able to see them take home championships as a result of that, Lewis.
All right, well, congratulations to you and all the Lady Tigers. Good job.
Well, Larry, the SEC meet is always a great preview of the national championship title, and this year no different.
They are. Let's give a shout out, Dwight. We just took care of the teams. Let's talk about individuals. Ben Chariot from Auburn, Dorian Ulray from Arkansas, Liz Costello and Annie Alexander from Tennessee. All those four won 2 events here. Dorian Ulray got the MVP on the men's side. Samoy Hackett on the women's side for her 100, 200, and relay performances.
Well, it's all over.
I really enjoyed Ted. What a complete actor.
It's amazing. And also, you know, when you've been on the air for that long, sometimes you need something like this just to kind of change it up a little bit.
You know, the trick to that, I'm sure, to your job.
I like to dance. Yeah, I do. I know you couldn't tell from there, but I do.
No, well, you know, you are an Emmy Award-winning actress, and we have a couple of pictures of your Emmys. Can we take a look at them so we can ask Dana? Okay, Dana. You're a woman after my own heart. What have you done with your Emmys?
Well, on the left one is a Honey West doll. Is anybody old enough to remember Honey West? Yes.
I do.
Yeah. That was my favorite TV show growing up, and I was Honey West for Halloween when I was 8. So that's a Honey West doll, which is actually a collector's item. And on the right is a Barbie doll. And someone gave that to me. She's actually wearing a copy of the dress I was wearing when I won that Emmy. So
now,
a little Emmy.
Yeah, no, we love that. We love doing creative things with them. Okay, so the last time that you were here, I did tell you that you have beautiful hair, because you do.
Thank you.
But I have since learned that your hair, that you started going gray really young.
Yeah, I turned gray in my 20s. It's an Irish thing. We turn gray early.
Yeah?
And I remember I was, and I always liked gray hair. My aunt had it. I thought she looked beautiful. I love gray hair on women. I really do.
So do I.
Yeah, I think it's very attractive. And so I was walking down the street in New York. I was about 28. And I had this really cool gray streak going on, you know, kind of like Dana Winter.
Like Stacey London.
Yeah, it was cool. It was very hip, I thought. And this very famous director saw me on the street, and he said, "Oh, hi, Dana. Oh, hi." And then I got a call from a friend of mine saying, so-and-so, I'm not going to say his name, but so-and-so called me up and said, I can't believe that Dana's letting herself go like that.
Wow.
And I remember being like, oh my God, I have to start dyeing my hair.
Yeah, so, I mean.
Now I'm in that trap.
Now you're in the trap of keeping your hair dyed. Now, are you 100% gray every place now? Or do
I don't know, it's been so long.
It's been so long. Do you do some of the upkeep yourself? I mean, you know, do you go to the salon all the time?
This is how bad it is. I have to go every 2 weeks.
Oh.
Every 2 weeks. It's a bore.
So they have a seat just reserved for you all the time?
Yeah, they make a lot of money off of me.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Really. Well, I would love to be liberated from it. I want every woman to stop dyeing their hair so we can all just go natural, and it would be...
I would love to... But the problem with gray hair, though, Dana, is that it's got to be the right color gray.
It must be like silvery gray.
It's got to be silvery.
Yeah.
It's got to be healthy. It's got to move. Like Carmen the model. Do you guys know that Carmen the model? Her hair is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the kind of wig I want when I get older.
Like platinum.
Yeah, like beautiful.
Yeah.
So you recently joined Twitter, I hear.
Yes.
And there are a lot of women.
I just sent you a tweet, actually.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to see it right after. Thanks, Dana. I'm going to start to follow you. Do you do interesting things?
Not really.
See, here's the thing. When you join Twitter, I think people expect for you to tweet them like every 10 minutes with
with something fabulous.
Something fabulous.
Yeah, it's great for comics. Comedians are really good at it. I have a